So there's this meme that has been flying around and it's becoming one too many. I've seen it for a while and it's alarming. The way this generation, especially youths, we have lost the fear of God totally. Like totally. We joke about sacred things. We joke about eternity. And especially hellfire. We have lost the consciousness that there is another life after this life. That this life is not to be lived carelessly, it is to be lived in preparation of the next life. And we don't have many preachers who talk about eternity, who prepare people to live lives, or who prepare people for eternity by living lives in the fear of God. You know, so this is 2 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 1 says, when we have these promises of eternity, promises of, a life after this life, we should perfect holiness in the fear of God. We don't have many preachers talking about that. That's why these jokes are invading the space. People are making light of these things. We think it's a joke. We think it's something that doesn't exist. And you find it also in some religions. To them, they have created an eternal reality in their mind that doesn't exist. You find like even in the Catholics, they have something like purgatory. These are things that are contrary to the Bible. You think that, okay, after someone has faced torment in hell for some time, you can now pray for them, God will have mercy, and they will go to heaven. You see, all these things, people have created it in their minds, but it doesn't exist in the Bible. The way Jesus said it, that's how it is. If your name is not, like in Revelation 15, anyone whose name was not found in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. And Matthew 25, Jesus said, he spoke more about hell than heaven. And he said that it wasn't even created for human beings. It was created for the devil and his angels. But the devil, in his cunning nature, as cunning as he is, he decided, I want to go to hell alone. So he wants to take as many as he can with him. That's why some people, he makes them to create eternal realities. A hell that doesn't exist, a heaven that doesn't exist. To some, he makes them take lightly eternal things, make jokes about it. You might think it's a joke, but this is actually a very subtle way of keeping people in the path that leads to destruction, so that they will never find the path that leads to the narrow way that leads to life. And the world has given us a lot of philosophies. YOLO, you only live once. And this keeps people in a path where you live the way you want, because this is the only life. They forget that the Bible, Hebrews 9:27 says that you will die once, after that judgment. So there is life after this, my dear. But the location, you have to prepare the location. Where will you spend eternity? So these are not just memes. These are not just ordinary jokes. It's a carefully devised plot to keep people in the path of eternal damnation. Listen to this.
Do you know that the spirit of hell also assigns people their place in hell? People who have gone to hell have come to tell us, and they came back to life out of God's mercy, have said everybody in hell is in their own pit. Everybody. And I told you, I've seen visions on earth where people are standing on pits of hell while here on earth. Until God open your eye, you won't see those things. And that's when I now knew that you don't go to hell when you die. You actually go to hell when you are alive. The journey to hell begins when you are alive. When you close your eyes in death, then you find yourself there. It is in death you now realize you've been in hell all your life. That is why the Bible says if somebody is in hell while alive, you see it in the tongue. It said the tongue is a wall of iniquity. You see it in the tongue. You see it in the person's attitude towards sin. You see, when Jesus came, he spoke about hell more than about money. He spoke about about hell more than about tithe. He mentioned about tithe only once in the Bible, but he spoke about hell severally. If you look at us, we pastors today, we talk more about tithe and less about hell. That tells you that we don't represent Jesus, and that the Spirit of Christ is not in many of us. Because if the person we represent spoke more about hell when he was here on earth, and we are talking more about tithing, about sowing seed, about giving money or giving that, it means we don't represent him, we represent another Jesus.
Yeah, so on that note, join us for this very, very wonderful apostolic summit that will be starting today, this Friday from 5:30 p.m. Yes, you can also stream, you can make your way to the sanctuary or stream from the Morning Cloud TV on Signet. Download the app on Play Store or Apple Store, or stream from our YouTube channel Present Truth or Present Times TV. Remember that Jesus is enough. See you there. Don't miss this summit. Don't miss it. Jesus is enough and he loves you. Bye.